Hi, welcome to the Roman Epic Productions. This is your Spotlight TV show. I am your lovely host. It's Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon for those tuning in. And today's guest is the the ever evolving, electric, excitable Jose Navas of Flick House Studios in good old Florida.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say, specifically what city. I'm gonna let him say that first. So, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
And he's done three short films and a documentary. Three short films that he's done is El Barcero. He's done Beat Lingo and With His Eyes Closed. And he's working on a new project, and he's gonna tell us all about it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm actually tuning in from Cali. So, but I'm so used to just being in Miami that I'm like,
Mhm.
um, so yes, I'm happy to be here. Um, you know, we have actually I've shot 4 short films, which it's my fourth is not hasn't been released yet. Wake Before Dawn. It's a very sweet story about a family who, of, a mother and her 2 kids who work a flea market and are
Oh,
trying to survive. So we are super excited about that film, and yeah, and we're currently working on the feature for Beat Lingo. So Beat Lingo is my second short film,
hmm
and we've had such a really we've had a great response and from people, and we actually have an opportunity to be able to develop and hopefully get financing to do the feature. So currently we're doing that. Yeah, currently we that is the plan. And so
hmm
yeah, yeah, we're just
Uh,
working
we're
in.
gonna give we're gonna give some context of what he's talking about here. So, in terms of Beat Lingo, this is his second film,
Yes.
and it has been at so many different film festivals that it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
been at the Los Angeles International Film Festival. It's been at the Reabilities New York Film Festival. It's also been at the Miami Film Festival. That was a year ago.
Yes.
So this is very interesting. Um, we
See,
could show a trailer or an inside look. So let's do the trailer. The trailer, it's about 2 minutes. So everybody, hang on. It'll be okay, I promise. So here we go. I'm going to show it to everybody here, and I hope you um, like this over here. Hold on. And here we go, everybody. Okay.
Mrs. Spencer, as you're aware, Marcus is not deaf. However, Marcus will never be able to talk.
Marcus, you don't have to hide. Life's not fair. It'll never be fair. And as much as you and I want it to be, I'm not going to be here forever.
Marcus Spencer. I like for everyone to make it feel at home with us. Is there anything you would like to share with us? Yo, you good?
I don't think anyone's home. Just leave him alone.
You're just like the rest of those other kids. They just have to get to know you better.
So that was Beat Lingo, and that was the film that I basically was introduced to you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, Beat Lingo. So Beat Lingo tells the story of Marcus, who is he's a reserved young boy,
Mhm.
suffers from mutism. He's been homeschooled throughout all his life. And
Okay.
so Beat Lingo starts off with him going to real school for the first time, and being mute.
Mhm.
How do you have a voice, right? Imagine, your voice has been taken. And so he uses, there's a secret that he has that he's hiding from everyone, and well, at least from the world, and
Mhm.
that he's a prodigy beatboxer. And so ultimately,
Interesting.
yeah, ultimately he comes out and and kind of that's the way he speaks to the world. So it's a very sweet film. I wouldn't say sweet. I mean, it is very sweet.
Mhm.
But it's also very it's compelling. I think in the sense that it
Mhm.
it really shows you, because I think that it's something that everybody can relate to. We all want to have a voice. We all want to be able to like fit in somehow.
Right.
Maybe not fit in with the popular, kids, but at least fit in. Have your own group. You
Of
got,
course, of course.
and so I think that that's something we all relate to on a very, deep internal level. And so I think that that's how Beat Lingo has resonated with, older audiences. But, it's a very fun film. These kids rap and beatbox, um,
Mhm.
taking, we can all relate to going back to school and thinking about those days. And so, yeah, it's a very, very cool film. And we've had a very great response.
Mhm.
Think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is an inspiring film.
Right.
People want to get inspired. People want to feel like, they want to have hope. They want to see something that's going to make them make
Mhm.
something to look forward to.
No, absolutely. Um, in terms of your short films, we were off screen. We were talking about the fact that you have a criterion specifically. It's like if it goes into this territory, it's just be like, you know what, forget it, just do a feature.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So for me, when I make films, well, I've made short films. Currently, we're working on Beat Lingo, the feature. I think
Mhm.
I've never rushed into making a feature. I feel like, as a young filmmaker, you have to put your work out there. You have to kind of pay your dues.
Yep.
You, you don't want to jump the gun. You don't want to just jump at it and not do your best. I feel,
True.
want to you want to in some ways test yourself with short films, sharpen your teeth on them, you
True.
through them. And so I think that that's what it's done for me, and that's why I've never really been like. But now I'm getting that itch to finally make my feature, and I think I'm at that point where I can, you have to have a little bit of that confidence. You definitely have to be confident to be
That
to
is
do,
true.
you know.
And I don't think people realize that, honestly. They don't understand that it's better to do a process step by step than just go full on into, I'm gonna do a feature, and then it's just like it
Yeah,
can implode from within because you haven't prepared yourself totally.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I try to keep my shorts in between 15 to 20 minutes.
Hmm.
I love short films that, if it's a great film, even if it's 20, it's gonna feel like it's 10 minutes, because it goes by
It
so,
can.
you
It
know
depends on the style and what you're trying to convey and the tempo, because
Yeah,
as you know, films have
ab-
tempo.
for
People
sure.
don't know that. People really think, oh, no, there's beats that you got to follow similar to music, and there's a tempo.
Mm-hmm.
And if the tempo is slow, oh dear God, the movie's gonna feel like it's gonna drag forever.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've learned, and I think that I don't know if they, I don't know if they, if you know,
Hmm.
I've learned so little in film school. I've learned so little in film school, and so much actually doing it and being out there. But
Hmm.
one of the first, very, very first things I learned doing narrative filmmaking and working with shorts and films is you come in late and you leave early, right? You don't want to overstay. And with short films, you don't want to linger. It's not a feature. You
True.
don't have, you don't, it's not, you don't
Wait,
have,
wait, 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 wait.
you don't,
Yeah.
you don't
So
have, yeah,
it's true. It's very
yeah.
true.
You don't have the time to, in shorts, you don't have the time to be too poetic. You really don't. I mean, that's not what shorts are for.
This is very true.
I
This is
think,
very,
okay,
very true.
I want to rephrase that. Anything could be poetic. A short can be poetic. But what I'm saying, what I was trying to say, I guess that was maybe the wrong word to use, but you don't have in shorts, you don't have time to flex that muscle
Hmm.
as like sitting on a certain scene or sitting on somebody's reaction and just like kind of letting you don't have that in short films. You got to be very specific if you're going to do that. If you're going to do that, you have to be very specific to like, this is the style of my film, this is the message I'm trying to convey, and it's going to take only a couple minutes. Because if you're trying to do, and this is what I was going with when we were talking off screen, um
Hmm.
is that if your movie's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it's not a short film. 30 minutes I think would be the max. If it like I said, going back, sometimes I see short films that are 20 something minutes and they feel like they're 10 minutes. So if it's 30 minutes, is it amazing? It's going to feel like it's 15, 20 minutes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Sorry,
it,
I'm in the house, so it's kind of hard to to conduct the interview. I have a very small kitchen, just letting you know. For
this is
those out
this is
there,
live. This is
sorry.
live,
You
guys.
know,
This is live. This is live. This is unedited. We don't got time to go to the editing room. This is live, right?
no, sincerely, this is super live, and it's just like,
Super
yeah,
live,
Jay,
super eclectic, super real. This is how you get it.
I'm telling you. So this interview is going to be on the Roman Epics production page and also on Twitch TV. And once it is edited, which editing is fun when you got to salvage, like, yeah, that might not be what I needed for the scene. So I have to edit that out. That sucks. So yeah. But you're right, in terms of movies, it people don't people forget that. They really truly do forget that when you do short films, there's a certain freedom, but there's a certain restriction placed on you that
Oh,
you don't realize
oh, absolutely.
until you get to post and you're like, dang, I shouldn't have like done 5 takes when everything I had was in two.
Yeah, that's one thing I've done. Oh, geez, it's crazy because I don't know necessarily how other directors shoot. I've been lucky enough. So I started Flick House Studios, my production company, in 2018, and I've been able to self finance and executive produce all my films. Um, and so and I'm an executive producer. I run a lot of. I have a business background because I got into real estate, which is a whole
Yes,
different.
talk about that. People don't know that.
Yeah, so I've always wanted to be a filmmaker ever since I was a baby, and I went to school. I was in creative writing. I went to high school, graduated Vic honors with TV production, had a studio engineer certificate.
Right.
Straight out of high school, I graduated and I didn't skip a beat. I went straight into film school. I studied at MIU down here in downtown. But 2 years into it, about a year and a half, 2 years into it, my mom, who she was in real estate, she got me into real estate. She was like, you should do this. And so, I got into real estate and I laugh because, mothers, and it's like, "¿Qué tú estás
Para que
haciendo?"
sepan.
She doesn't talk like that. But what are you doing with those movies? Like it's always like a dream. As an artist, you always have to fight that. When you're an artist, you always have to fight that stigma of the fact that that's like a hobby. And then you're like, no, it's actually a profession. It's a career.
Oh my God, I cannot tell you. The same thing, honestly, when I do short films and television, and this television show, as you can see, life,
Yeah,
it is so hard to defend it. It's just like, to quote Chris Rock, I love hip hop, I'm tired of defending it. Like, it
yeah,
feels that way with filmmaking. It's like, I like to do films. This is my creative,
hmm
where I just, really push myself and I really want to do my best. And
yeah,
then everything else that I do is work.
yeah,
Like people say, oh, you know, like where I work, I have a this. I said no, 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 no. My job. I said no, no. This is a job. This is not a career. My career is so far removed from what this is, but it
yeah,
helps to be here. It finances the dream, as they say.
yeah. Um, that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that though. Because I'm gonna explain to you this. So what happened with me is I got into real estate and I did really, really well. I started doing really good. My mom was in she was already kind of established, and so I got into real estate and I started doing really well and
Mm-hmm.
literally turned my back on filmmaking for about 10 years. And
Mm.
most of that was because of the fact that, I was young, immature. And so I was, I wanted, the money and the partying and all. Obviously, that's it's hard when you're young. Those are, you make mistakes. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, claro. But come on, you didn't think at some point that you were gonna like, you know what? I am getting good money, but I should buy a computer or I should buy a camera or I
Yeah,
should get this software. That came
I
later. Please tell me that came later.
much later, I actually walked away from filmmaking for about 9 years, 9, 10 years, and so it was a long time. And in about 2015, 2016, I was like, this is what I want to do, and then I jumped into it. And but everything happens for a reason, and I'm going to tell you my experience. Even though yes, I lost a lot of time, I feel I lost for sure. I'm like, I beat myself for that. But
Yeah.
that made me who I am today. So I have a business background, and so it's taught me how to be a producer. I'm a director, a writer. I run my own business. I run a company. I would have never been able to do that if I didn't have that.
No, yeah. Everything that we
So,
do in this life, you learn from it.
yeah, and so
And
everything,
what skill is applicable?
right, and so everything happens for a reason, and that's the whole point of it is the fact that going back to the fact of what I was saying, that I've been lucky enough to be able to greenlight my small projects
Hmm.
um and finance what I do. But it's been through the through that through my real estate business that I've been able to do it. And so everybody has their own path. It's very hard to be sustainable in this business and still try to be, Steven Spielberg.
Oh, me lo dice.
It's just a different time. You know, you
Mhm.
walk onto the studio a lot like he did, and just linger around, and it's not like that anymore. You
And
know,
you hope and pray que estás en caso.
yeah, and there's a lot of there, and filmmaking has always been a very expensive career.
Of course. Absolutely.
And so you have to be, as a filmmaker, as an indie filmmaker, which 90% of us are indie filmmakers. Even the big directors are indie filmmakers. They'll get one or two major films, I don't know, in a couple of years, but they'll still might squeak in a little like indie film in there. Maybe like Hollywood indie, which is like under 20, 30 mil. Under 20, 30 mil,
Yeah, which is just like
Hollywood indie.
what I found out about what indie constitute. It's $250,000.
Oh no! Oh, not even. That's a no for like I've heard like anything that's under a million is like a no budget to Hollywood.
I'm just
We're
like,
talking about to
you
Hollywood.
know what I could get for a quarter
Yeah,
of $1 million? No,
to
hold on.
Hollywood, to Hollywood, to Hollywood, anything to Hollywood, anything. You know, I look at this because, like I said, going back, like I have a business background, and so I it's very important for me to I've understood that this is a business. Filmmaking is a business.
Yep.
So, and if you want to be successful, listen, God bless your heart. We're all creatives, we're all artists. But if you want to be successful and you want to at least like up your percentage level of like,
Hmm.
bro, listen, understand the business aspect of it.
Yes.
Understand that. Because
Yes.
faster you understand the business aspect, that's going to help you on the creative end. Now you're going to
Absolutely.
distribution and how to like negotiate contracts, licensing, managing all that stuff. So I think it's important, and then now we're on the indie level. Like so anything that's like 10 million and under for Hollywood, that's considered, even 20 now. I think it's considered like, mostly it's considered like that's an indie film.
And you just like, concho, 20 millón. Like that could, like in real estate terms, I'm like, that could buy you a couple of apartment buildings. Like, what are you
Oh
talking about?
yeah. Yeah. It's a big risk. There's one thing I've that there's one thing I say this now, like in the past like couple months. I
Mm.
I tell this to my colleagues and I say, you know, like this is obviously we don't this is not easy. Everybody knows that, like, right?
No, no, it's not.
You got out of film school and like once you're in the business for long enough, it's like, it's not easy. And people like investors, people like executive producers that finance films, I've heard them say, if you want to make money, don't come into this industry.
Of course.
And
Of
so
course.
since I've heard that recent, like I've been hearing that a lot, and it's true, it's hard. And so I tell people, um, you know, yeah, it's just I lost my train of thought there a little bit, but it's very hard. It's very, very, very hard.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
if you don't, if imagine it's
Mhm.
an industry where um it takes it takes money to make a movie, and for the most part there's a lot of people that produce movies, and unfortunately a lot of those movies just don't make their money back. It's just the nature of the beast. It's not necessarily that the movie is not good. Maybe it just doesn't have the backing, it doesn't have the marketing, you know.
Like
Yeah,
to quote to your example of Steven Spielberg, would you believe what movie he actually produced and it did relatively well for about a month? It was Easter Sunday with Joe Coy, the Filipino American comedian.
yeah, and I know Joy Quiz. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that movie. It was good. I liked it. I
Wow.
like the message of family, but the fact that he said Steven Spielberg did it and you see him in the producer credit, even Steven Spielberg wasn't like, like supporting the movie. Pero he
Wow.
attached himself, like you said, sometimes, you do what you can.
Yeah.
Um, one thing I just wanted to show El Balsero.
Yeah.
So this was his first short film, which has won many awards, and it's been everywhere. So let's show the trailer before we call it a day. Hold on. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Desde que Fidel tomó el poder, lo único que ha hecho es destruir el país, quitarnos la libertad. Yo no quiero ser un esclavo, yo quiero ser libre. Yo quiero ser libre.
Mirando al mar me pregunto, ¿qué habrá del otro lado? Tiene que haber algo mucho mejor.
¡Tú no vas a poder más que yo!
All right.
All right.
Sorry. I actually shout out to Afro Dominicano who just played for like 2 seconds. So basically that movie, the ocean scenes.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I worked very closely with a talented VFX artist
Okay.
by the name of Daniel. His last name is passing me, but yeah, I worked very closely with my VFX supervisor. You know,
Right.
just find yourself somebody who knows VFX and who isn't gonna break your bank.
It's true.
You know,
And it's hard, especially because the way those ocean waves look is amazing.
Yeah, you know, now they use like, so they have previs and they have like, it's almost like a, if you like a preset, if you will. So a lot of these ocean shots are already generated within a program. You just gotta like kind of figure out how to, you know, apply those presets into your actual footage.
Wow.
So you know, and that's the beauty of visual effects now. It it it's not cheap. You have you have to plan a lot.
Yep. Like I said, man.
I had sharks in one scene. We had an overhead shot, and he's on the ocean. You know, La Balsa and El Barcelo's there. It's an overhead shot, and then you know we had digital sharks that were kind of surrounding his raft, and it looked super real.
Damn.
But it really takes, you know what that takes? It takes a matter of believing in what you're doing, sitting down with your VFX artist, and then storyboarding.
Right.
I cannot express to you how important storyboarding is.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to storyboard at least like, so for that particular sequence, I think we only really had for that sequence, we only had maybe like 8 or 9 like VFX shots. It was like something like that around. And so you literally have to be like, okay, this is the first shot, then this is the shot, then this is the shot. That way you and your VFX supervisor have on the same page, and then he says, okay, this is the way we need to do it, like behind on green screen. And you as a director have to go and execute that. But he tells you this is the way we're gonna do it. So I need you to do this and have the raft move here. And then we created a whole rig for the raft. We put it on green screen. We actually have the behind the scenes of it, and you can get a little sneak peek of how we did it. But I was super impressed. I was blown away. Blown away because at that time it was still relatively like those ocean scenes weren't like as like you don't see now. Like now you can see them a lot, but like I mean,
Yeah,
for,
it
for
hadn't been brought back since Castaway.
for exactly, yeah, and for indie filmmaking, that like I said, that was like relatively like on a small short film level. It
Mhm.
was pretty dope. I was super impressed by it, but that was really, I have to give it up to Daniel because he did his thing on it. Really,
Yes, and that's
he
why
went
you won
above and
awards
beyond.
for it. No, hold up. That's why you won awards for it. That's why.
Yeah, he did his thing. He definitely did his thing.
Well, Jose, thank you so much for your time, and keep the progress up. And from Miami to Cali to New York, we send the best wishes for a continued and storied career, which I am absolutely sure you're gonna get there.
Thank
It
you.
started in 2016, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna stop. So I think you're gonna make up for the 10 years you believe you've lost. You're gonna make it up now,
Awesome. Thank you.
and you're gonna be getting bigger and better.
Thank you so much for those words. I greatly appreciate it. I'm so humbled. And yeah, just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for having me. Thank you for to everybody for like tuning in, listening. Please keep watching Roman Productions, and thank you again.
Thank you so much, and check out Flick House Studios on YouTube and also on all your social media platforms. Check out the movies and do go to the festivals if they're in your area to go see it. And thank you so much. And bye, everybody. Me voy.